Have you ever felt surrounded by chaos, internally and externally, and wondered how to stay calm like the Stoics? Chaos doesn't announce itself. It enters quietly, then consumes everything. Noise rises, control slips, panic grows. That's when most people lose their center. But not Marcus Aurelius. While others crumbled, he led an empire in flames, literally. War, plague, betrayal. Yet his mind stayed intact. Why? Because he trained it to be still while the world shook. He knew that if your mind isn't ruled by you, it'll be ruled by everything else. You see, Aurelius didn't write Meditations as a philosopher trying to sound wise. He wrote it as a man trying to survive, a man reminding himself how to think clearly when everything around him screamed otherwise. And that's exactly what we need now, the blueprint for inner order when outer chaos takes over. You don't need to escape the noise. You need to outthink it. You need to think like Marcus. Let's rebuild that mindset, step by step. Are you ready to silence the storm? Let's go. The first principle Marcus lived by was brutal honesty with himself. He didn't sugarcoat life. He didn't pretend everything was fine. He confronted what was ugly, unfair, and uncontrollable, but he never let it own him. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's where real clarity begins, separating what you can control from what you can't. Most people waste energy fighting reality. The Stoic sharpens his focus. He doesn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" He asks, "How do I respond with excellence, regardless?" Even in the heat of failure, he steps back and observes, not reacts. While the crowd is pulled by emotion, he moves by reason. That gap between impulse and action, that's where Stoic thinking lives. That's where power lives. If mastering your mind like Marcus matters to you, subscribe and hit the bell. This channel is your mental gym. Train here daily. Aurelius understood that chaos wasn't just external. The real battle was always internal. His own urges, pride, anger, and fear. "If you are distressed by anything external," he wrote, "the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." Think about that. It's not the chaos that breaks you, it's how much power you give it. So instead of feeding panic, Marcus practiced perspective. He visualized worst-case scenarios. He trained himself to see events in their smallest parts, removing their emotional weight. A plague wasn't a crisis, it was a natural event. An enemy's betrayal wasn't personal, it was human behavior. By shrinking the drama, he stayed grounded. That's not denial, that's Stoic control, seeing clearly, choosing wisely, and acting slowly. And that clarity became contagious. As an emperor, his calm stabilized armies. As a man, his stillness inspired generations. The lesson? Mastering your thoughts isn't just survival, it's leadership. Stillness wasn't just something Marcus practiced, it was something he protected. He wrote early in the morning, long before the noise of the world could touch him. His journal wasn't for show, it was his mental training ground, a place to return to first principles, a place to reset his inner compass. Every entry reminded him of one thing: character over comfort. He didn't ask, "What feels good right now?" He asked, "What's the right thing to do, no matter how hard it is?" That's how a Stoic thinks in chaos, not through impulse, but through values. He also leaned on one constant truth: nature. Everything in the universe has its time, its cycle, its death. So when things fell apart, he didn't resist. He realigned. "The universe is change," he wrote. "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This is how he endured betrayal without vengeance, pain without collapse, loss without losing himself. Because Marcus didn't fight the storm. He became the anchor in it. A Stoic doesn't wait for peace to begin thinking clearly. He trains himself to think clearly in spite of the chaos. And Marcus knew clarity didn't come from running away. It came from still observation, from discipline, from confronting hard truths without panic. He had to choose, daily, to return to his core, not get swept up in palace politics, not let ego dictate policy, not let grief become weakness. It was a war against his lower nature, and every day he won, not by dominating others, but by mastering himself. He saw his emotions like wild horses. You don't kill them, you train them. You give them direction. You make them serve your purpose, not sabotage it. That's why he endured so much without breaking. Why his leadership wasn't based on charisma or force, but on internal command. His mind was his kingdom. This mindset isn't reserved for emperors. It's available to anyone who's willing to show up and train, every single day. You, me, all of us. Now imagine this. You're in the middle of a storm, decisions pulling at you, opinions shouting, outcomes uncertain. What do? If Marcus Aurelius were standing beside you, he wouldn't shout. He wouldn't panic. He'd ask a simple question. What is in your control right now? Not what others are doing, not what might go wrong. Just, what are you choosing in this exact moment? Your breath, your words, your response. That's it, and that's enough. Chaos doesn't need to be eliminated. It needs to be outlasted, outthought, outdisciplined. This is the Stoic edge, turning disorder into insight, pressure into presence. So when the noise rises, go still. When others break, you stand. When it's chaos outside, you become unshakable inside. That's the legacy of Marcus. Not silence for its own sake, but stillness with intention. A mind that holds its shape when the world loses its own. Now your turn. What would your next hard moment look like if you faced it like Marcus? Answer in the comments. Don't just nod, train.